joining us today. So Sam, I'm not sure if Sam is joining us. I woke him, he fell asleep after dinner and I woke him up, but I think he may have fallen back asleep. He's really tired. He's been studying super hard. So we'll see if, I hear somebody bumping around, so that might be Sam coming to join us, but it might just be me tonight. And I will do my best to keep this as fun as it is, even when Sam, as it is when Sam is here, so. Oh, there he is. You did. I made you a cup of coffee. So anyway, we've had an exciting day. It's a little cold-ish today. Oh. Yes, I did. But the kids were able to play outside. It's just a little bit on the chilly side. I was going to plant, everybody is out there in our area. They're buying all their plants, and putting them in the ground this weekend. And that's just a little chancy to me. It's kind of chilly today and tomorrow, and I still don't trust the evening temperature. So I'm waiting a few more days, even though today is supposed to be our last frost date. So Arkansas Prepper is here. Welcome. Adele is here. Good evening. And Prep for Eternity. Thanks for joining us. And Veronica, thank you for joining us. I was going to say something. Oh, we figured out the mystery of the live chat replay. It has to do with how soon you try to watch the video. YouTube does a processing of the live chat, and so if you try to start this video, if you didn't catch us live, and you try to start it pretty soon to after the live ended, like within an hour or two, you will not see the live chat replay. But if you wait a little bit longer and it's done processing through YouTube, then you will see the live chat replay. So that mystery has been solved. Thank you to those of us who commented, and we could kind of see the pattern, and it helped us figure it out.
See, we have Tessa, Chris, Grammy, Empty Nester, and Glinda.
Welcome. So anyway, it was a little on the chilly side today, but we went out and got it done. Annie had her school this morning, and while she was at school, I took the other girls. We went shopping for the week, and then we went to the library because our library is amazing. It's basically like an indoor play place. But we got some books because that was really the reason we went. We got some new books for school, and then we also played at the park, even though it was pretty darn windy, but they had a really good time. Let's see, who do we miss?
Debbie is here, and Beth says she's finally caught the live, even though hubby is missing out. Gives me something to do while feeding the baby.
Look.
Karen is here.
And Prep for Eternity, I think it can take up to 24 hours for the live chat to populate after a live stream. Yeah, so if you want to be able to see the live chat, you got to hang out and wait a little bit. It seemed to be within a few hours last time, but if you don't see it, you can watch it without it, or you can come back a little bit later.
Tizzy
says it was a chilly start here in central Oklahoma, but warmed up a bit this afternoon. And Homestead Nana says cold and rainy in Massachusetts, and Glenda is from Arkansas. So it wasn't, it was like 60, and it wouldn't have felt cold if it hadn't been just crazy windy. It's been really windy today, and that just made it windy. A little bit chilly, like at the park. But the kids were so excited to be at the park because this is the first time we've gone to the park since fall that they didn't care. So they played for a while, and we went on a. So the library had like a microscope we could check out. So we checked it out, and then we went on a walk this afternoon, and we picked up all sorts of random things off the side of the road, flowers and stuff, so that they could look at it under the microscope, and they thought that was really cool too. So Sam had an exciting day.
Oh yeah, super exciting. Been studying all day. I did have a little phone interview for jobs, so I think we talked about that last time. It's kind of crazy because we don't technically graduate until August, but I'd say at least half of my classmates already have jobs, and so I'm doing the same thing. So I had a little bit of a phone interview, so we're working on that process.
Yeah.
Over the next few weeks.
You've got some phone interviews lined up. It's kind of like the first step in your process. So.
Yep. And they, at least for most of my classmates too, there's usually at least like 2 or 3 interviews for each hospital. You have a shorter kind of phone interview. If that goes well, then they'll pass your name on to the different units that need someone, and then the units, like the unit manager, a nurse manager, will interview you, and if that goes well, then, the last thing they'll do is have a peer interview you, and you'll go on the floor for like an hour or so and just kind of observe. So a lot of them, at least most of my classmates, have like 2 or 3 interviews each
So
for a job. So.
you're actually, I feel like, as stressful as nursing school was, I feel like the interviews are more stressful for you because it's just a lot of time while you're trying to finish school because there's so many steps.
Well, for us to, almost slide this way just a little bit. For us to, all the hospitals are at least 40 to 45 minutes away, and so I don't want to apply at just one place. I want to apply at least 2 or 3 places so that we can kind of compare and figure out what we want to do.
Make as much money as possible.
Yeah, and the environment of the hospitals and the atmosphere of the unit and stuff, that matters too. But, you know, if I have to drive to a hospital 2 or 3 times and it's 45 minutes away, and we're already super busy with this program, it's just a lot more to add on top of your plate. That's why most of my classmates, they probably, I'd say 2 weeks ago, a lot of them already started the process, but a lot of them live 10 minutes away from the hospitals they're applying to.
Sam kind of aimed, because he's got a break coming up in 2 weeks. So we kind of aimed so that maybe the in-person interviews will be scheduled while he's on break from school. So we waited a little bit longer than his classmates, but we were trying to kind of aim for time for days when he's going to have more time.
Yeah, after the end of this week, like next week, I don't have anything. Well, I shouldn't really have anything due. It's just a bunch of testing. And I do need to study for all of the tests. But the fact that there won't be a bunch of assignments as well. So I figured now is a good time to start.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Glenda says went to the museum.
Oh.
And Debbie says northwestern Oklahoma very windy at times. Yeah, this is a very windy time of year around here. And Carrie says, hi guys, thank you for joining us. Carrie also has a really neat video up if anybody wants something to watch. She made some candles out of shortening, which is just something you don't really think about. So if you ever want to just see something kind of out of the box creative, check that out.
That's cool.
And Debbie says Bruce drives 50 miles one way 5 days a week. So that's just the way of, I feel like, rural living. If you want, for most people, if you want a job that's going to have decent pay, a lot of times you have to drive outside of your little rural community to a larger community.
Yeah, and there are they're starting to be more and more nursing jobs that are like telehealth kind of things too. But I need some good experience and such starting out. So we're gonna have to drive.
Do you think you would be lonely doing telehealth, like not actually working hands-on with patients?
I would not be lonely. No, I think I wouldn't
well, I mean,
bother
like,
me.
miss the personal interaction with people.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think it would. I mean, like doing telehealth, at least starting out for me. I don't know. I said I wouldn't have any experience.
Yeah.
I guess it would depend what I was doing in telehealth. That might not really matter, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, it would be kind of weird. It'd be different to do telehealth.
And Sandy is here. Thank you for joining us. So on the other end of the spectrum, we have some things planned for this summer. Annie got into a special camp for kids just with her very specific diagnosis, and we're really excited that she qualified to go. But in order, like, it's big travel, it's a big trip, we're going to be gone for like 10 days, and so I got a job scoring, this is kind of boring sounding, it is kind of boring, but I scoring standardized math tests of third graders, and it's 100% online, and it only lasts about 4 weeks. So it felt like a godsend, because we had kind of known that we were going to need some extra money this summer, because Sam's still not done with school, is really not going to start a job and getting paychecks until September. So trying to figure out how to get through the rest of the summer. And I applied for a bunch of things that either they said that they were work from home, and then it turned out, well, it's work from home once you work for us for 6 months. And, I can't afford or even find, even if I could afford it, if the job paid enough, can't find childcare out here. So that's not an option. Or they paid way less than they said they would. Like I used to teach online for a company that taught kids out of China, and they were going to pay me almost half what they used to pay me, and it's not worth. I don't want to say money's never worth it, but waking up at 2 a.m. is not worth $7 for me, like what it does to your body and the amount I would have to work to make the amount of money that we needed. And so
all that stress.
Yeah, it was really discouraging for a long time. But then I stumbled upon this job, which is scoring standardized tests. And it pays halfway decent, and it's 100% online. I was, right before we came to the live stream, I was doing some work. It's not interesting work, but I don't really care. It's consistent work for at least the next 3 or 4 weeks. And so that's exciting that we were able to find something, because really want to make camp happen for Annie. Also want to make some special experiences for the other kids, because they sacrificed a lot with you back in school and things, and not being able to do special things.
Yep,
and
for sure.
We'd like them to be able to do a couple special things this summer and be able to continue their extracurricular activities through the summer, and we just needed more cash on hand to do that. So
Diane is here.
Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for being here.
So
it's nice. I think it's nice because in the past, the ways that you've made more money have either been stressful or like the time that it took was just like really awkward,
or it took a lot of time to make a little bit of money, and it was not worth it. That teaching job, like, I won't say I regret it. It wasn't a bad job, and I loved my students, but it like destroyed my health. I really believe that's why my heart problem got out of control, because I never slept. I was like, I'd go to bed and I wake up like 4 hours later, and then work, and then you take care of the kids, you homeschool and do all your house and all the farm, and then you sleep for 4 hours, then you get up and you do it all again to make a little bit of money. It wasn't worth it. This job is great because I do have to be non-distracted, but if the kids need me for a second, it's not a huge deal, because like when you're teaching, you cannot be interrupted ever. When you're scoring, if somebody's like, hey mom, can I have a snack? And you go, sure, I don't lose my whole pay because my kid said something during the class, which is what happened before. So this is it's 100% online. It doesn't have to be, the perfectly sterile environment. I have my work corner, and, when I'm working, it's usually while they're asleep. But if there was an emergency, I won't lose my job if I get interrupted, which was the issue. That was really stressful with that teaching job, because if I got interrupted while I was teaching, like, I would not only lose my job, but I had to pay a fine. And so we were always terrified of that happening.
We had little babies when you were doing that too. So I have to wake up and make sure the little babies were all sleeping. Let's see. Veronica is here. Says, we'll be praying for you as you continue that job. Jepco is here. Thanks for hopping on. Debbie says, childcare is expensive.
It is. And it's hard to find, at least, I think maybe if you're in a larger city, maybe it isn't so, or as difficult. But out here, there's no options. Like, even if I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to work full time, like, we need me to do that, like, there is nowhere. I would have to drive like 40 minutes to one town and hope that my job was in that town, kind of thing. So
Beth says, a note of humor. I started watching homesteading channels to learn more healthy living along with frugality and such. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here watching while eating Oreos and milk.
Hey, it's all a balance, right?
I don't know. It's like we've watched some of those. What's the Alone? Is that the one where they go? They just drop people out in the wilderness, and whoever basically survives the longest without tapping out gets $500,000 or whatever it is. Those people who like haven't eaten for 2 weeks, and you're sitting there just stuffing pizza down your face, or whatever kind of dinner.
One of the channels I like watching is the 1870s homestead. She had a picture on Instagram, I think maybe it was today, and she was like, people always ask what we buy at the grocery store, because they raise a lot of stuff. Picture, it was like multiple bags of Doritos and like Captain Crunch. She's like, you need balance in your life, so
that's funny.
Doesn't have to be 100% all the time.
Carrie says, that's really cool. That sounds like a great extra income job. And she also says, yes, I love that show.
Yeah, we watched a few seasons of that.
It's really interesting.
It's always interesting how it seems like it's more the mental game that gets a lot of people, other than the actual, like, some people like literally ran out of food, but a lot of people tapped out because they mentally couldn't deal with the aloneness of being alone.
Yeah, it's like half the people tap out within the first couple of weeks because
They're so bored.
they almost get anxiety about being away from people or being out in the woods, and some of them like think they get hurt, but they're not really that hurt.
Yeah.
And then the other half that quit, they actually have doctors that check on them at least once a week or something like that. And if they start to get too sick or their health deteriorates, then the doctors in the show pull them out. But anyway, it's kind of interesting if you like survival kind of stuff. Like I feel like as far as some of the survival shows and such go, that one feels pretty real.
Right.
So anyway.
All right, so new plants. So we had a surprise. Oh, I remember one show he tapped out first day. I cracked up. Yeah, how disappointing to make it that far. I do remember we watched one where first day guy broke his leg, like just fell, broke his leg, and you remember like, how disappointing is that? You do all that prep work and then step on something stupid. You know, he slipped on a rock, broke his leg. So, all right, but new plants. So the garden is coming along, and I said earlier I'm still waiting. I don't trust the weather. It's still a little too chilly for me to put like tomatoes out there. Maybe a few days. But I did, somebody, a mysterious person, maybe you're here tonight, sent me rhubarb. I think they're called crowns, like the live roots. And so I planted those this week, and I have never even eaten rhubarb. Have you had rhubarb?
Ooh. Didn't we have rhubarb pie or something like that?
I know strawberry rhubarb pie is really popular, but it's not
like
something I grew up with.
I've had that before.
So I'm really interested. I know you don't eat the leaves, you just eat the celery-looking stalks. And I also know that the first year you don't really harvest your rhubarb, you just let it establish itself. But that's going to be fun. Try something new out there.
Something different.
So that's out in the garden. That's fun. And we also planted our corn. We're going to do our Three Sisters garden, so you got to start the corn first. So I put that out there. So it's starting to feel like it's getting along. And yeah, so
it's all coming together.
It's coming together slowly but surely. I do need to go buy our tomato plants. Maybe this weekend. I'm going to buy them. I didn't start them.
What kind of tomato plants are you going to do?
I usually do mostly like the big boy, like the big beefsteak slicer tomatoes, because I like a good slicer tomato on a sandwich. And then the rest I just freeze. I freeze them all year round, and then in the fall I'll make sauce. So I know some people get really into making, like, they do diced tomatoes and they make tomato paste. You get your paste tomatoes. I don't get real. I just make. I buy slicers and I either eat them or I freeze them and I just make spaghetti sauce. Maybe one year we'll get more specific about varieties, but.
Let's see. Adele says, "I love rhubarb. Love it over ice cream and pancakes."
So do you cook it like a syrup? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know.
This year I'll finally get to actually harvest my asparagus. That's awesome.
Yeah, that takes
I
some
learned
time
today
too.
that in certain parts of the United States, asparagus grows wild. Like asparagus.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was following this foraging group, and it looked like they had just gotten it out of the grocery store. Why am I spending like $5 a pound on asparagus at the grocery store where I could just be crawling around the highway ditch harvesting asparagus?
Adele says yes.
Okay. Sorry, our tripod is having problems today. Well, it's probably not our tripod. It's our table. Nothing's flat on our house. So.
It just needs Can we twist it?
Here. There we go. There we go.
Now you get to look up our noses, but hopefully it doesn't fall over again.
So, pickled green tomatoes, yes. And last year, I think it was, I made salsa verde with green tomatoes and canned it, and that was really good. I'm going to do that again because I use it whenever we cook like Mexican dishes. And like the day before the first frost, I went out and picked all the green tomatoes and canned them, and that worked out really well.
We used to eat fried green tomatoes a decent amount in the summer. See, J and B is here. Prep for Eternity says, "We did sauce and diced tomatoes last year. Sauce takes a lot of time." And Bill and Celia are here.
Welcome, Bill and Celia. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. So I find sauce I kind of cheat. And because I freeze the tomatoes and then you don't have to boil them because when you defrost them, when you thaw them out, the skins fall right off. I only core them if it's just a huge tomato with a real woody looking core. And then I just use that to make a sauce. I don't seed them. I don't do anything like that. And then I just have to boil the sauce a little bit longer so it's not too runny. But I skip a lot of the steps that make sauce making complicated because I just don't have time for that. And I'm not making something to sell. I'm making something for our family. So it doesn't have to be picture perfect.
Right.
And then I actually save the skins and the cores that I do take out. And I use that to make this like vegetable meat sauce sometimes. And there's a video on that so that nothing goes to waste. It all gets used. So.
Anne says, we planted 18 fruit trees this weekend. I plan to get a lot of the rest of the garden in. Rhubarb is a favorite for fruit desserts in our home. And Adele says, I have a great recipe for green tomato cake. It was always my birthday cake as a kid.
I'll have
green
to Google
tomato
that. Green
cake.
tomato cake.
Ooh.
People get creative.
I have never heard of that.
I know, I haven't either.
That sounds interesting.
Is the cake green? Like when you eat it?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it green?
I don't know. 18 fruit trees is a lot to
That's
plant
a lot.
too.
So
That's good
I
work.
hope they root well and serve you well, even though I know it's like a 7-year wait. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. Some of those fruit trees, though, I think it depends what you're planting. And sometimes now
true.
they have like some smaller varieties and such that'll actually start to bear fruit a little faster, and they don't take as long to grow.
Prep for Eternity says, we ran them through a tomato press, which took forever, so maybe I'll try a different way. So I just put them all in a big pot and with a little bit of water and boil them and then hit them with an immersion blender. That's my non-professional.
Adele says,
method.
Not green, laugh out loud, looks like a spice
spice
cake. Oh,
all right, so what's your favorite kind of cake? I think I know the answer to this, but you tell me what's your favorite kind of cake?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think the answer is?
Carrot cake with cream cheese frosting?
Oh, that is pretty good. I don't know if that's my favorite, though. I do like, just like, as boring as it sounds, like a good chocolate cake. I do like cream cheese frosting.
You do like cream cheese frosting,
That's
though.
very true.
You're not a real cake guy, though. You prefer, like, cheesecake or a pie.
Yes, that's true. I do
don't make
prefer a cheesecake or a pie over.
And
like
the
a
kids
regular.
all say they prefer cake, but they just lick the frosting off of it and don't actually eat the
That
cake.
is
So.
very true. Carrie says, I put all the green tomatoes when the first frost is coming and make a bunch of green enchilada sauce.
That's good. Maybe I should make some enchilada sauces this year. I am going to try. Bill and Celia, who are here, sent me a recipe for a couple different barbecue sauces. And Sam here is a big fan of barbecue sauces. So I'm going to do a tour de force of barbecue sauces, I think, and see if we can find one we really like. And it'll be like our Teal House Farm barbecue sauce.
Signature sauce?
My signature sauce.
So, we'll experiment and make a signature sauce.
If you had to describe your favorite barbecue sauce, what words would you use to describe it?
Oh, I don't know. I do like something that's like sweet and spicy. I like something that has a kick. I think that makes it more interesting. You know what that reminds me of, though? Making your own sauce of Meet Me in St. Louis, where they make their own ketchup, and everybody has their own opinion of how the ketchup should taste.
They keep pouring vinegar and sugar in it.
Yeah, it's either more vinegar or more sugar or more, I don't know what.
That movie's funny.
Yeah.
It's good.
Everybody has opinion, though.
So I will try it. One of the ones Bill sent me was like a blueberry apple barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
So, I don't know. I thought the girls might think that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'd try that for sure.
Gary says she likes a smoky barbecue sauce.
That would be good. Yep, I agree.
And Beth says make sure you hit the like button. Yeah, if you have a minute, hit that thumbs up for us. It gives us a hand in the algorithm. I will say I'm not a big fan. Was it the KC sauce? It's like tomato based. Like it's really tomatoey. There's one city style. The sauce is really tomatoey, and it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I like sweet, maybe a little smoky. I'm not into things that are super spicy, but a little kick isn't bad. So we'll see what we come up with.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a signature blend and we'll share it with you when we find something we really like. So Chris says blueberry apple barbecue sounds delicious. Yes, it does. So we might be trying that. If I can manage to get blueberries in the sauce before my kids eat all the blueberries when we buy them. I bought strawberries today and they ate them. Ivy reached over the back into the trunk, apparently on the way home, because it's the van, so you just reach over the back seat, and ate all the strawberries in the back row of the van on the ride home.
Little goobers. Carrie says peach barbecue sauce is really good
sounds
too.
good.
See, peach barbecue sauce add some spice to it.
Is that what you want?
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds good. Arkansas Prepper says, I've wanted to buy an aluminum steam juicer for jellies. Ooh.
There's so many cool kitchen tools out there. I would need 600 more cabinets.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun toys out there.
I do think I need, like last time we tried to can spinach. I don't have a real steam pot, and I tried to like make my own with like a colander and stuff. It didn't quite fit. It got really messy. I think that's my next like kitchen purchase. I'm buying myself a steam pot with a basket to make those things easier. Carrie says, I get a bushel of peaches last year and made some peach barbecue sauce. Became my son's favorite. That sounds really good.
Yep.
We'll have to maybe we'll have to try peach for you.
We got some options.
We got some choices. I might have to make a list and you give me your top 3 to try.
Okay.
So, I have a barbecue sauce taste test.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
That's one of those videos. I almost hate it when people make food videos on YouTube. It's like, but I need to try that too.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make something delicious like that, like it needs to be shared. It's too bad YouTube doesn't have like a
Taster button.
taster button or something. You see something delicious, it's like, oh.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of food, there's the new canning pantry cooking video coming out tomorrow if you want to learn how to use all your cool items in your canning pantry. You can't eat it with me, but you can watch me make it and then you can make it yourself. So.
J&B says, please hit the thumbs up button. Diane
Peach
says,
salsa.
peach salsa is my favorite.
We had there's like a store, it's not too far from us, so they all have like handmade salsas and stuff that grow together, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They had a mango salsa and that was really good.
Oh yeah, that
the
was
girls
really
like that. It was really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Chris said Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business. I would be putting a lot of things on clearance.
Ooh,
That's
there
true.
you go.
That's true. Go look there for some kitchen gadgets. And I did hear that if this applies to me, you can now use your Bed Bath & Beyond coupons, because Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business, at Big Lots. Because I guess they're owned by the same mothership company. And
that's cool.
So I saw that the other day. Not that I have any, or I've only been to Big Lots once in my life.
We don't really shop at either of those places very often.
Save some money on something at Big Lots, I guess. So, but we could go get some really nice fluffy towels. You're a fan of the... You want a towel that feels like a hug when you get out of the shower, I feel like.
Doesn't everybody want that?
Yeah, but you have to wash the towel that feels like a hug. And those towels are so
true.
heavy.
Our little
like
washing machine.
My little washing machine, and then our clothesline is like on the ground from the weight of the towel.
That's true. Good to know, says Chris.
Yeah. Our towel. So we bought towels. This is way off topic, but we have really thin, cheap towels because then the kids feel like they need to use every towel in the bathroom, I feel like, when they take a bath. And so then you have like 10 towels that need washed, and that way they all fit in one load without overloading the washing machine. So no fluffy towels for us.
Well, yeah, we have a tiny little washing machine.
So.
Debbie says, I love Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's a pretty cool shop.
I'm sure, when's the last time we went to Bed Bath?
We never go to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Not very often. We went there specifically, though, to look for something.
We were looking for a new bedspread. It was like 2 years ago. Oh, yeah. But they like started at like $200, so then we turned around and went to Target.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
So, not that they weren't worth them, they weren't really nice, but they were out of they're out of the price range of something you want to spend money on when you know somebody's going to draw on it with a Sharpie in 2 days. So
that's so true.
So, Isla is a marker thief, and we don't know. She must have them hidden like in the cracks of the couch because we've confiscated all the markers and like put them away up high because she likes to draw on things she shouldn't draw on. And then like in the middle of the night, she got no pockets on her jammies, and she'll just like whip out a marker, and you're like, where did you find that? She has a secret stash somewhere.
She does. She was like this close to getting in trouble the other night because the other girls said she had a black marker. And they have a fan in their room, and that she had written on the fan. But lucky for Isla, the fan is black too. And so I inspected that thing and could not see any writing anywhere on it. So she escaped punishment the other night, but it was all luck.
It was very all luck, or maybe it was incredible skill.
It could have been.
I can color this as much as I want.
It could have been.
So, all right. I think this is kind of a short one, but you got studying to do, and I want to get some more work done tonight.
Yes, per usual. We have...
Two more weeks.
Yep. I've got a test Tuesday, tomorrow, and then next Tuesday and Wednesday we've got tests all day. It'll be big, but we're like this close to being done.
Davey says kitchen gadgets are a woman's favorite thing, like tools for a man is his favorite thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, every time you get a tool, I'll get a kitchen gadget. How about that?
Okay.
Does that sound like a fair
That sounds
deal?
fair.
You're not are you a big tool guy? I feel like only when you're working on a project. I feel
Well,
like.
if we're honest, we haven't had a lot of extra funds
I know, to buy nice
spend
tools.
on nice tools. And I've learned that spending money on cheap tools is almost like throwing it away, because
True.
that tool will probably last. Well, I guess it depends what you're doing with it, but a lot of times super cheap tools, they only last a time or two, and they're broken or not doing all that great. So sometime in the future I will be a tool guy.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we're gonna sign off. I know this is a quick one, but we wanted to check in. Next week is finals, right?
Yes.
So next week there will be no live stream because Sam will have lost every hair on his head in stress studying for his finals.
Next week.
Your mustache is gonna start falling out.
Yeah, over Tuesday and Wednesday, it's gonna be like, I don't even know. It'll probably end up being like 6 or 7 hours worth of tests.
Get you a paper
taking.
bag to breathe into.
Yeah, it'll be a lot, but it'll be good because we're done.
But
so.
after that, then we'll be back. So thank you all for stopping by for our quick little stream. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. Thanks for the good luck, Diane. Everybody have a good week. Take care.
Thank you.